Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Driving back up to Stewart from West Palm Beach. Just dropped my daughter off. So on this video, I want to discuss the software and apps that I use to run my small business. So I would say the most important software that I use for my business is, number one, is QuickBooks. I love QuickBooks. I wouldn't use anything else but QuickBooks. Some people say it's expensive. I don't think it is. I mean, the simple starter plan is like, I think $25, maybe $30 for like just the plain, standard version. You can do your estimates, you can do your invoicing, you can, do your books, you can reconcile your cards. All your bank transactions can be categorized, which makes it a lot easier for your accountant at the end of the year to do your taxes. Really helps you keep track of your spending. You can run profit and loss reports on each job. I think that's probably the most important tool for me. A buddy of mine uses Square. He likes Square. Some of my subcontractors use like other software that I've never heard of, and I mean they send me a nice presentable estimate. It's acceptable. I don't know if they go as far as doing their books on it, keeping track of transactions or anything like that, or I don't know about all that, but I think QuickBooks is my number one most valuable software that I use for my business. I'm able to write a professional, clean estimate to submit to the client. So the client what they see is clean, it's professional, the logo's up there, the address, itemized scope of work and materials. It just looks like a legitimate company wrote this estimate. It's not written out on Microsoft Word or anything like that, which that'll work too. As long as you have a nice little template, with your logo and business credentials up top, and you can write up a pretty good proposal on Word, But I don't know if you could have the client accept and decline on there. I'm not sure. There probably is. I just don't know how to do it. But yeah, so QuickBooks is number one. Number two is Google Sheets. I love Google Sheets. I am obsessed with Google Sheets. I have a spreadsheet for everything. It does everything that Excel does. It's simple, it's easy to use. I can share sheets. I can invite people to take a look at sheets, or I could assign people to be an editor on it, or I can assign them to be a commenter on it. It's great for the whole team to be on the same page. Like, everybody's looking at the same thing, I love that. So my number one sheet would be my master sheet. Now, on the master sheet, I keep track of every single call we get. All right. So when I take the call, first I record it. With this thing, I record the call for quality assurance, so later on, if I forget what the client had mentioned, I can listen to the recording, and pick up on something that I didn't remember. But besides that, that's another software that's very valuable. But as far as the master sheet goes, the date the call was received, the name of the client, the address, the phone number, the email address, description of the services requested. And then after that, so is the call moving forward or is it not moving forward? So I get to select the tab. It's the drop down menu. Click moving forward. The next column is who it's assigned to. Is it assigned to Daniel, Sean, Jeff, Keith, Ian, whomever it might be? So I click the tech name. So now I know the job is moving forward. The initial call went good and it was assigned to Sean, let's say. After that, it would be, man, I should be doing this video and sharing my screen so I can show you guys exactly what's what. I might do that on another video. But this spreadsheet pretty much, it's a whole list of every single client that's ever called me. All their info is there. What did they call for? Who was the job assigned to? And I think the next column is the assessment scheduled? Yes or no? What date is the assessment scheduled? After the assessment, have we received pricing, an estimate from the subcontractor? Or, did we submit the Home and Beyond Services estimate? What date was our estimate submitted? Did it get approved? Is it pending approval? Did it get declined? If it's approved, did we collect the deposit? There's a yes and no, and then there's a not available option, because some jobs we don't request a deposit. And then after that, it's is the job scheduled to start, and what day is it scheduled to start? And then is it on in progress? Is it on hold? Are we waiting for the client? Are we waiting on materials? And then after that, is the job complete and satisfied? If yes, did we get a 5-star review? So this sheet starts from column 1, and it goes like 20 columns to the right, man. Like, I got to keep scrolling throughout the job process. But that's pretty much, I basically created this sheet as an alternative to a fancy, expensive CRM software. Every CRM software that I looked into and I did the trial version on, I didn't like it. It was just, it was just too much. Everything I wanted to see wasn't on one screen. I don't know. Maybe I didn't take enough time to learn how to use the software, but I don't know. Maybe I was just so used to my spreadsheet that I just decided to keep doing the spreadsheets. So that's my master sheet. That's my number 1 sheet. After that, I have the board. The board is basically another spreadsheet with different tabs at the bottom for each tech. So Sean has a tab, Daniel has a tab, Jeff has a tab, the new guy, I forgot his name, he hasn't started with us yet, but he's got a tab, and then Jared has a tab. I also have a tab on there too. So this is basically a sheet where I can see what clients are assigned to what guy. So basically I can click on Daniel's tab, and it'll be a list of every client that he's assigned to. And then pretty much kind of like the master sheet, it's almost like the master sheet without all the customer information. What the purpose of the board is daily updates, So at the end of a job, God forbid, which never happens, but if there's ever an issue, a misunderstanding with the client, we can go back on that board next to that client's name and see, hey, on this day, you spoke to Batu or you spoke to Daniel, and this is what you guys discussed. This is what you said. So it's on there. We keep track of everything, every interaction, daily updates every single day. So like my guys, we probably have about 30 ongoing clients at the same time right now, and I can't keep track of every single one. I can't. It gets really difficult. So what the board helps is, if the guys actually do it and they stay on top of it, you're supposed to update the board every single day. Take 5 minutes at the end of your day. You can access it on your phone, on a tablet, on your laptop, or your computer at home. You can access it from anywhere. You go down your list and you click on the next empty line, on the next date entry, and say, hey, today I spoke to the client. We're still trying to narrow down a start date. Or on another job, say, hey, checked in on the material delivery, expected delivery date is this. Or, hey, I spoke to the client, the assessment is scheduled for this day on this time. So this way, at the end of the day, or throughout the day, or in the morning when I wake up, when I look at the board and I want to know what's going on within my business and all my clients, I can go on there and be like, oh, okay, so Daniel made a comment on here under this client. This is what's going on. Fucking beautiful. I love it, So I don't have to keep calling my guys throughout the day asking them questions. And this way, if a customer calls me, asks me a question, I'm already informed. I can go on that board. All the dated entries are right there. I can answer her question right away. you know? So I love the board. I think Master Sheet's great for keeping track of all the customers that, new leads. That's great for that. But the board is 100% how I stay on top of everything, make sure nothing falls through the cracks, because before the board, the whole reason I created the board was because a couple of clients fell through the cracks. I'm sorry to those clients, but we got overwhelmed. I didn't have a good organization system, a good way to keep track of it. A couple of days later, a customer calls me talking about, hey, what happened? I never got this estimate, or, your guy never called to schedule an appointment. And I was so embarrassed. I felt horrible. I just felt absolutely horrible. And I said, I can't never let this happen again. So that's where the board came in place. This way, everybody's updated. Anybody on the team at any moment in the day can log on there and see the latest update on each client. It's clean, it's organized. Everything is in one page, And like I have little tabs, just like the Master Sheet: assessment schedule date, estimate approved or declined, deposit collected, yes or no. When did we HBS estimate submitted? What date? And then, approved or declined. And then start date scheduled. What date? And then, so we just keep checking those boxes off, until we get to 5-star review. So I think the board is absolutely by far my favorite, man. It helps me so much, but it stresses me out because if the guys don't update that thing every day, it's pointless. Then I'm back to calling everybody and asking questions about every single job, which is fine. I mean, that's what I'm supposed to do, but it would be so much easier. It takes 2 minutes out of their time, out of their day. I update that thing every day. When I talk to my guy and I get an update that's not on the board, I'll go on their tab and I'll update it for them, Or if I talk to a client, I'll go on there and I'll update it for them. And I'll shoot my guy a text like, hey, check the board. I updated this client, And then, yeah, to me, that's my favorite. That's my number one board. Without the board, it would be chaos. It would be absolutely chaos, And then, let's see, after the board, I think the next one after that, as far as sheets go, will be my individual subcontractor or technician approval ratings, where I keep track. The master sheet keeps track of all the clients, all the calls that we get in, who they were assigned to, did the estimate get approved or not. So basically, at the end of the month, I extract all that information, all that data from the master sheet and transfer it. So I'll extract the data for each guy and I'll transfer it to their own approval rating spreadsheet, to where I can see how many clients was assigned to this guy, how many of those estimates got approved, how many of those got declined. And at the end of the month, if their approval rating is less than 50%, red flag goes up. That's a problem. Now listen, I get it. My guys, are great with their estimates. Their prices are very reasonable, and you can't win them all, and I get it. And I know a lot of major companies that have been in business for many years longer than me. I hear some guys' approval rating is like 10%. They only get 10% of all the jobs that actually, of all the clients that actually call them in. So I like to say 50% because I don't want my guys going below 50%. When you go below 50%, that means there's a problem somewhere. Either you're not clearly communicating with the client doesn't feel like you fully understand what they're requesting, or you're not communicating with them, or the price was too high, or maybe your estimate was missing some things, maybe your follow-up and follow-through was poor, or maybe you neglected the client, maybe something is going on, You know, if your approval rating is going below 50%, there's a problem. I need to take a step back and I need to reassess. I need to have a conversation with this guy, you know, because at the end of the day, I'm spending a lot of money to get these clients, to assign to these guys, to keep them busy, you know. So if I see that the approval rating is below 50%, basically half the money that I'm investing in the marketing is going down the drain. You know, I'm not okay with that. I mean, I get you can't win them all. I get it, you know, but I think 50% is fair. And most of my guys usually stay between 40, the lowest 40, you know, to 60, 70%, you know. And you can really see the trajectory of the sub or the tech. For example, one of my number one guys, Keith, I don't know if he's watching this, big shout out to Keith. You know, me and him are still friends today. The guy is very knowledgeable. We still have a great relationship today, you know, but I don't know what happened. He decided to part ways. It is what it is. I wish him the best. He wishes me the best, you know, no hard feelings. But when Keith first started, his approval rating was 100%. Like, he was getting every job that I sent him approved. Like, this guy was a salesman, you know, his prices were good. He was very knowledgeable. The clients felt safe with him, you know, which was great. And then he worked for me for about a year. So now if I go back to his approval rating sheet, you can see where it started at 100% approval rating. And then as time goes on, month to month to month to month, that approval rating drops. Like, it went to like 190, and then it would go to like 65, it would go to 75, and then it kept going down, and it went down to, you know, the last 2 months he worked with me, his approval rating went down to like 25% or 30%, I believe. And like, I had to sit down and have a talk with him. I was like, hey, listen, man, like, what's going on? Like, look, I showed him the approval. I shared it with him. He can see exactly what I'm looking at. Like, something's going on. I don't know what it is, but we need to figure it out. Like, if you want to talk to me about anything, if you have any concerns, if you have any problems with anything that we're doing, please feel free to voice your opinion, because I would love to continue this working relationship, you know. And he said everything's fine, everything was cool, and then, you know, eventually it just kind of, we decided to part ways, man, you know. But anyways, back to the sheet. That approval rating sheet can really show me where my guys are. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, you're not keeping track of these things. You're not, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, as the busy days go by, you know, you're running around, you're getting stuff done, and you're dealing with multiple things. You know, as long as you keep that master sheet updated, at the end of the month, you can go back there because you have all this valuable data sitting there. And you can learn so much from that data on that master sheet. And you can see if somebody is, you know, growing or if they're on some kind of a decline, you know, and you can really take some precautionary measurements to protect your business, yourself, and more importantly, the customer, you know? So yeah, the approval rating sheets is another important one. I think that's all I use as far as keeping track of everything. I mean, of course, I use Google Calendar. You know, we set up an assessment. I will create the entry on the Google Calendar. I will invite, you know, the guy like Daniel. I'll send him an invite email link. It'll automatically pop up on his calendar. So there's no forgetting anything. Like, he'll get a notification for that event the day of, you know? So I think that's pretty sweet. And then, so the calendar, the sheets, QuickBooks, and then, so this little device here, Plod AI, I love it. I love it. I don't ever have to worry about forgetting anything. I don't ever have to take notes. If I am going to meet a customer to talk about a project, this is on for quality assurance. So this way, you know, we might be in there talking for an hour, going over a bunch of things, you know, and then later on in the day when I'm working on the estimate, I'll be like, man, what did this client say about this one thing? I can go on the Plod website. It'll print out a whole transcription of the whole meeting. It'll summarize it with bullet points, you know, and I can ask you questions. I'll be like, hey, what did, you know, Kathy say about this? And it'll analyze the summary and the transcript, and it'll tell you, oh, Kathy says she wanted this kind of fixtures or this kind of vanity. It's great, dude. You know, you can't ever forget anything, you know? And it comes in really handy when, you know, you're working on a big project. There's a lot of moving parts. You know, I have a file for every client, every estimate, every price sheet, every permit application or permit approval or inspection report or anything it might be. These call recordings are also going into that customer's file. So at the end of the job or down the road, customer calls me because there's a misunderstanding or a lack of communication or miscommunication or whatever it might be, I can go back to her file and listen to these recordings and say, hey, listen, on this day we talked about this on the phone, and this is what you said, and this is what I said. You know, that's it. You know, it's just to protect the client, myself, the business, and my guys. That's it. So I think the Plod AI, personal assistant, whatever you want to call it, is definitely another VIP software of mine. And then, like, at the end of the day, when I go through all my recordings, there might be a customer I spoke to in the morning that slipped my mind. At the end of the day, I go over all my calls, and it pops up. I'm like, oh man, I forgot about that client. So boom, let me work on that now, you know? Like, it's great. I love this thing, man. What else? I think that's it as far as like office stuff goes. I've been getting, as obviously I've been getting into a lot of content creation. I started this YouTube channel, and I started doing more social media marketing on Facebook and Instagram, and I even have a TikTok. So, you know, and as soon as I did all that, I learned that I have to learn how to create content, how to create original content, and something, you know, like just something that people can engage with, and then it turned into video editing. Now I had to learn how to edit videos and what software and what apps to edit videos with, you know. So I found CapCut. CapCut is great. I do pay for the subscription. I can do anything with multiple videos. It's super awesome. I create my Instagram reels, my Facebook stories and reels, all that on CapCut. All these YouTube videos are done on CapCut before they get uploaded to my YouTube studio. And then after that, I think that's it, guys. That's it. Yeah, so QuickBooks, Google Sheets, the Plod AI note taker assistant app thing, and yeah, the spreadsheets, the board, the master sheet, and CapCut for video editing. That's it. I think that's there's nothing that I don't think there's anything that I'm missing. There's no aspect of my office that could be improved by another software. And if you know of any other software that you would recommend or you have experience with or anything, man, if you have any suggestions for me, please let me know. Like I always say, every day is a new learning lesson. I don't know everything, nor will I ever know everything. I just I'm looking to learn and grow with you guys' support. I hope that you do comment and give me some suggestions. Maybe I can, you know, take some tips from you guys. That would be great. And if you guys have any questions about any of the software that I spoke about, let me know. Drop a comment, reach out to me. I will reply. I will be super excited to see a comment on one of these videos. It'll definitely be the highlight of my day. So please don't hesitate. Drop a comment, man. I'll be more than willing to help you guys out, show you, point you in the right direction. And maybe on the next few videos, I might do a screen share while I'm going over the board, going over the master sheet. Maybe I could do a little tutorial on QuickBooks. You know, I can show you guys how to use this Plot AI thing. I think that's some pretty cool content ideas. And man, I need more content ideas, guys. Let me know what you guys want to hear about. Please, give me some ideas here. I'm running out of ideas. Yeah, any questions, any opinions, feel free to comment. And please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.